Welcome to this week's episode of Free Bat Movies, guys. This is where we watch a movie on Netflix, we tell you what we think about it, our favorite parts, our least favorite parts, and then give you a rating out of 5 bacon strips. You can join us on these movie reviews by going over to netflix.com. You can sign up for a free month of streaming service and tell us what you think about them.
Well, everyone, the movie we watched this week was Super!
Super!
Movie had Rainn Wilson, Ellen Page, Liv Tyler, Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, who I don't even think he really got top billing at all in any of the previews for it or anything like that. I don't think he was really mentioned. So basically this is another movie very similar to Kick-Ass, and you'll see that throughout the movie there's a lot of themes that are very similar.
This movie is centered around a character that Rainn Wilson does. I believe his name is Frank. And it's about Frank's life. It's very sad. It's very depressing. He's middle-aged and he feels like he has nobody that cares for him. He even says that his mother doesn't love him at one point in the movie. And he finds Liv Tyler and they get married and they're happy for like the first minute of the movie. His life begins to crumble again and he doesn't know where to go, and he finds Jesus. And Jesus puts him on his path to being a superhero.
But you're not sure if it's Jesus or he's just crazy.
He could be crazy. Jesus did touch his brain, though. I did see that.
Yes, it happened.
Jesus touched his brain.
So he decides to become a pseudo superhero, but there's nothing really super about him at all, because he's just this awkward, weird, fat, middle-aged guy that's trying to fight crime. It's really awkward.
The first time he goes out, he doesn't have a weapon or anything. He immediately loses the first fight he gets into.
But there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of correlations between this and Kick-Ass, because he does his research at the comic book shop, which Ellen Page is the comic book shop clerk, and she recognizes him from the diner that he works at. So they kind of already knew each other, knew who each other were. She even goes as far as to say, it's almost a complete line ripoff from Kick-Ass, where she says, I don't understand why no one's ever done it before, you know? Just gone out and be a superhero. I think that the reason Kick-Ass had so much success was because of the aspect that it was coming from like younger kids and Nick Cage. When I first started watching this, that's exactly what I thought was, this is a ripoff of Kick-Ass, and this is going to be pretty much the same common theme of somebody's trying to be a superhero, and then they get the costume, and it's a homemade costume, and then they get some weapons, and then they fight some crime, and then they're super cool at the end. And that's what I thought this movie was going to be, was just a complete ripoff.
I first thought kind of the same thing. I was expecting a lot different because of Rainn Wilson and Ellen Page. Not so much on Ellen Page, but you can see the differences. There, like, Kick-Ass was violent, but this is violent. This is violent. My favorite thing about this movie was most likely the fact that he was a renegade, a vigilante, and he kept on committing these crimes where it wasn't like he was stopping a crime, but he was probably committing an even greater crime. He was cracking people over the head with plumbing. What the hell is it?
It's a pipe wrench.
Pipe wrench. Okay, yeah. Cracking people's skulls open. You saw heads split open because they were butting in line at a movie theater. What? This is better than the other because Jesus said so. Bam.
My favorite part was the culmination of the film when it gets to the final, like, 15 minutes or so, and it's only because I'm going to relate it to this, but it's not at all like this. The scene in the Matrix, in the first Matrix, where they're breaking Morpheus out, and it's like, you know, that's what you've been waiting for in the entire movie. This is that scene for this movie, and he goes and he amasses an arsenal, and he's got like, you know, he's got guns and he's got homemade devices and all this stuff, it gets to the point where it's just completely violent and crazy, and he actually becomes like that superhero that you've been waiting for him to be the entire movie. I didn't like that it was a complete ripoff of Kick-Ass. Ellen Page's character was just batshit crazy, and she came in and kind of became the sidekick, but also like the anti-hero that kind of screwed everything up for Frank. And Frank had a clear vision in his mind and had no plans for having anyone help him. His whole purpose was to get his wife back, to save his wife. And here comes Ellen Page, who wants to be part of all of what he's doing, but doesn't fully understand it. So she's just along for the ride, and she screws things up immensely.
Yep.
There's a particular scene that you'll see that she screws it up a lot.
Okay, one of my least favorite parts in any movie when there's a gunfire involved is when they shoot 30 times and they're all misses, and then, oh, let me aim up with the dramatic shot and pull one off, and then all of a sudden you're a marksman. Least favorite part of this movie was probably Rainn Wilson's face when he was crying. And he cried a few times, and people are ugly when they cry, but he's kind of ugly to begin with.
He's even said that in the movie. He said people look stupid when they cry. He's like staring himself in the face while he's crying in the mirror, and he's like, I look stupid.
Bacon rating! Alright, Jeffrey. What would you rate this movie out of slivers of bacon?
I enjoyed this film. Thought it was funny. Had some good action spots to it. It actually had, to me, a better cast than what Kick-Ass had. I didn't like the fact that it was a ripoff and that they took a lot of the same things and just plopped it into this new film. And Ellen Page, I don't know, she was good at the character that she played, just the character was just like kind of ruined everything. So for me, I'm going to say 3 out of 5. I would watch it again, but probably not anytime soon.
I would give this movie a 3.5 out of 5.
A little step up?
Because I'm better than you.
Just a little step up.
I know it was kind of a ripoff of Kick-Ass, but I do think it made itself its own movie. And it was, even though Kick-Ass was violent, it was ridiculous in its violence.
Alright guys, this is what we thought about Super. If you want to find out what you think about it, you can watch it on Netflix by jumping on to Netflix.com, sign up for a free month of streaming service, and leave us a comment in the comment section below.
I'm Dave Burrows.
And I'm Jeff Hans, and we'll see you next week.